love yourself, love your purpose, as faith and trust can make anything happen. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the United States of America, she would be joining us virtually. Please put your hands together as I make welcome Teekwa Scarborough. Please, can we let her feel our love? Can we let her feel our love? Please, we can do better with that. A round of applause. Thank you very much. Ma, if you can hear me, we can't see you, but you're muted. So kindly unmute. Okay. Thank you very much. I think we can see that you have unmuted your mic. All right, Ma, we can hear you, or we're with you. Please say something so that we can confirm if we have your audio. Okay. Yes, we can. But it's a bit low. We don't.
Goodness, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can.
Okay. So let me know when to start.
Thank you so much, Ma.
I'm sorry.
You have the floor, Ma. You can start, please.
Okay. All right. Awesome. 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 All right. Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? It is an honor to be here today. Whitney, thank you for allowing me to speak on your platform. I am so honored here from the United States. So we want to talk about time management and productivity for virtual assistants. I like to say client managers. Is it okay for me to call you client managers? Because you are a client manager who manages clients, right? So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Who is Teekwa Scarborough? You may say. I am a single mom of two, and I like to call myself a glam mom. Okay, so I have two grandchildren. People say to me like, "Oh my God, you're a grandmother? How? Where?" So my grandson is 14 and my granddaughter is 10. So being a boy mom had its challenges because I had two boys who were rough. I was one of those moms that was reserved and just love my quietness. God gave me these two boys. I was like, I don't know, they're the total opposite of me. But anyway, moving on. As in my bio, I have Power Pro Assistance, which I built while working my full-time job. And also, she thought she not LLC. I registered it this year, but I've been doing coaching for years. My nonprofit, which will be starting next year, is the International Limitless Woman, because I believe that women, right, the women internationally have power, and I want to support that, especially my single moms, right? I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a coach and a mentor as well. I'm John Maxwell certified, and the organizations that I'm a part of is NARPO. I just became the chapter leader in the New Jersey chapter. I am also a BNI matrix, so I'm part of the BNI as well. In the BNI, I just rolled off the leadership role. So as you can see, the trends, leadership, right? I'm always getting thrown. So people will never think that I would have, because I was such an introvert. So I'm also part of the North Jersey Chamber of Commerce as well. So as we dive into this, the overview of this presentation is virtual assistants or client managers or contractors, right? They provide administrative, creative, and technical support. So these are all the things that we provide as assistants, right? As creative, as someone who is technical, right? Time management is essential for completing these tasks. We need to get our time management on point, especially if you are in the virtual assistant industry. Being an administrative in the office is totally different than being a VA to multiple businesses in multiple industry. So our time management has to be on point. So when we talk about the objective for this presentation, understanding your VA role, and I'm pretty sure that throughout this thing you learned from all the other experts and speakers here. Recognizing challenges in time management is what we're going to talk about here, and we're going to learn about those effective productivity strategies today. So, understanding the virtual assistant role. I'm sorry?
Please go ahead, Ma. We're with you.
Continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure, because I hear you in the background. All right. So, when we talk about the VA scope, we're going to talk about the versatility and task. So the first thing is virtual assistants excel in a wide range of. Hello? Okay, because I can hear you in the background, that's why. Okay. So versatility excels in a wide range of tasks, adapting to diverse needs. So let's talk about cost-effective solutions, right? So your clients are looking for cost-effective solutions. As a VA, we provide the solutions. We provide the service. We also is their solution to be cost-effective, right? Businesses benefit from the flexibility arrangements, and then also only paying for the hours of the services required. So as an assistant working for another company, I work an 8-hour day, right? So my day consists of being in the office and doing what I need to do, and I have all the time to do all these things 40 hours a week. As a VA, the businesses needs today, they don't need 8 hours a day. They just need the hours that is needed to get the job done, depending on what services that they are asking for, right? So if you are providing admin support, then they may not need 8 hours a day. They may need a few hours, maybe 5 to 10 hours a week, so that you can provide those services for them. So this is taking time that they can spend on their zone of genius while you're in your zone of genius, right? So for the services required is very important. So I just want you to just also remember that when you are marketing your services, and keep in the back of your mind that they are paying for the services required. So when we talk about global accessibility, remote work allows access to a global pool of talent, and you have that talent. What is your zone of genius? We talked about niche. Some of the speakers here talked about your niche, the services that you're going to provide. I like to say zone of genius, because we don't want to provide a service that we really don't like to do. There's a lot of things I don't like to do, but I have to do because it's my job, right? But in my business, it's a totally different ballgame. Now I'm working in my zone of genius, and I have control over what services I want to provide and the services I don't want to provide, right? So bringing that diverse skill to the table. So I want also you to know that you are enough. That just because you have different VAs all around the world, and yes, it is saturated, okay? It is saturated. Every day a virtual assistant business is being born. But I want you to also know that God is in control, right? He already has your clients already lined up for you. So when it comes to that stress about, I can't find a client, I can't do this, and especially as a new VA, I want you to have confidence in yourself. Being on the other side of the world, how you can provide those services, right? So let's go back into those specialized services. What specialized services can you provide that is in demand services? In demand from our clients by doing your research. We have the World Wide Web to search those things, to find out and get into the minds of our clients, right? So providing that expert support in specific domains. So when we talk about the scalability and flexibility, it's easy to scale up, it's easy to scale down, right? Based on the business needs. But I want you to also think about yourself. When you are working in your business, how flexible you want to be. Because we always think about the client. It's like, I want to, be there for the client. But also, you have to remember that you're not an employee. It's a business to business. And I want you to get into the mindset that you are a business owner. You are not an employee, and you're not working for them. You're working with them, and you're providing a solution to them. So this is what my goal is, to really get into the minds of virtual assistants, to say that you're not an employee, a business. You have to stand in your authority. You have to speak confidently. And so when it comes to the scalability and the flexibility, you have control of your time. So let me tell you what the advantage you have being on the other side of the world. While we're sleeping, all the stuff for your clients could be done. By the time they wake up in the morning, this is done. Everything they can see, done. That's the beauty of being on the other side of the world, right? While we're sleeping, work is being done while we're sleeping. I love that. I just love the sound of that. It's like I'm sleeping, and by the time I get up, my emails are taken care of. I know what I'm doing for the day. It's a beautiful thing. 24/7 operation. Different time zones, continuous operation. So let me tell you a story. I have clients that will tell me, once they get into our consultation, we let them know that we're 9 to 5. I don't work past 9 to 5, right? My team works 9 to 5. Why I work on my 9 to 5? My team is working in my business. So my thing is that this is how I have my business set up. In the hours of operations in America, this is where the flexibility comes in. So clients may come to me and say, well, my business don't work like that. Now they understand that it's 9 to 5, right? But they said, well, my business don't work like that. I need somebody on the weekend. I need someone in the evening time and all that stuff. But again, I have control, right? I have control of what clients I want and what clients I don't want. So you have the flexibility because you're in a different time zone. You can work the time that you want to work. So that's where the time management comes in as well. Because you have families. You maybe have a part-time job, or maybe you have a full-time job and you do this on the side. Again, scalability and flexibility. So in this next slide, we're going to talk about the focusing on solutions to the challenges that virtual assistants face. So some of those common challenges are procrastination, overcommitting, and lack of prioritization. Let me tell you something. These are all common challenges that I faced for a really long time when I started my business, okay? Working a 9-to-5, working for over 25 years as an administrative assistant, I have grown, I have learned, and I soaked in so much. Procrastination is a form of fear. It's a form of fear. And if you are a procrastinator, you have to really work on that. Because if you procrastinate in your own business, how do you expect to work in somebody else's businesses if you are a procrastinator? This poses challenges for you as a virtual assistant. That means it's delayed, task is not being completed, and your productivity goes down because you procrastinate. So if you do that, then you want to do that in your client's work as well. So when you procrastinate, these are the things that you need to be doing. Affirmation. Talk about those things. I need posting notes all around me and empower me, or things that I need to do on my phone. I put notes, and then I have alarms for certain things that I know that I have to do that. So you have to also remember, procrastination, this just didn't happen. Okay? This was over time. So don't think that, oh, okay, well, I'm a procrastinator, and tomorrow I'll be all right, I'll be able to do this. This was developed over time. So that means that in order for you to get out of the procrastination stage, you're going to have to work at it in bite sizes and work at it every single day. Overcommitting may result in taking more tasks on that is not manageable, right? Your potential client that you're going to have, if you overcommit on too many clients and you have not narrowed down or worked on your time management skills, your clients is going to see that. Okay? Remember, you are the solution and they came to you for the solution. And even though the money may look good, let me tell you something. When you overcommit, your work goes down. All right? Because you're not able to focus. You overcommit, and you have family. You have other things, other commitments that you have to do. It's not just a business. Your business is not your life. It's part of it, right? So you have to manage that as well. And you can't overcommit, because when you overcommit, your clients are going to see the quality go down. You may think that they don't. I'm going to tell you, some of my VAs that I have, and let me tell you something, I went through a lot of VAs that just wasn't up to my standards, right? And I asked my team, is my expectations too high? They was like, no, you asking for what you want, right? Because I'm like saying, well, I'm been an assistant for this and my expectations may be too high. But no, what it is that they overcommitted. They had so many clients that when it came to mine, I saw the lack of quality in their work. Clients will see that. So you cannot overcommit. Overcommitting is going to result in getting a bad review or a mediocre. You want those high reviews. You want a 5-star review. You want someone who is going to take the time and put it on video and tell everybody about you. So let's not overcommit on our commitments when it comes to clients. Get 1 or 2 clients, manage that. Make sure that is streamlined before you commit to another client. So lack of prioritization. Lack of prioritization can lead to inefficiency, use of time, and then also less important tasks that you're taking on. So the effectiveness in the management tasks and the responsibilities also lack. So we have to also learn how to prioritize not just our business, but you have to incorporate your personal life as well. So if you're married, you need time with your husband. If you have kids, you need time with your kids. So you have to prioritize that so that you're not lacking where the business needs is and you're not lacking where the personal is. And I'm going to tell you this, I was an overcommitter. All right. I recently, for almost a year, I've been a caregiver. I'm a single mom. I'm a full-time worker. I have a nonprofit. I have a singles ministry. I have all these things going on, right? Um, 2 weeks ago, I lost my aunt, but I had time to reflect on the things that I used to do and how I overcame on things because I wanted to make people happy, right? I wanted to make sure that I was there for everyone, but I'm only one person, so that's going to lead to burnout. Okay, so procrastination out the door, overcommitment out the door, lack of prioritization. Come on now, let's prioritize. Let's give them quality work. So we're going to talk about the strategies for effective time management. I love this. Okay, I love this because when I was as an assistant, a new assistant, I didn't have any skills, didn't know how to do calendar management, um, and was very bad at reading somebody's messages because I was trying to catch up with mine, and then let alone reading somebody else's messages and trying to learn that. I asked my supervisor for me to go to some conferences and take some training and things like that. So I learned these things. So the technique, the Eisenhower matrix. Oh my God, this was a mind blower when I went to a conference and I was in one of the workshops. This helped me so much. And I'm one of those that I like to figure things out myself. But once I learned this, it was over. Okay. I made I branded myself at my job. You can brand yourself for working for somebody. I branded myself. And every time when one of the executives lost their admin, my name was mentioned every time because I master these techniques. So when we look at the Eisenhower matrix, right? Urgent and important. We know that urgent and important do first. Not everybody knows this, right? Because the procrastination, overcommitment, and things like that. But as a client manager, a virtual assistant, or contractor, whatever you want to call yourself, right? We should always do urgent and important. So when we talk about urgent and important, you know that in your business, what is urgent and what is important. Communication is key when you are working with clients. That is one of the things that you need to be asking your clients before you work with them. So when you start diving into the work, you know what's urgent and what's important. Learn their business. Now, when you first get started, you're learning their business. So this is why you have to ask them questions so that later on, you know when this task come up, you know that it's urgent and important. Number 2 is important but not urgent. So when it's important and it's not urgent, you can schedule it. I am a scheduling queen, okay? I will schedule things out for my clients at my job, right? Because we call them clients as well, at my job, and also mine mirror theirs so that they stay on schedule and I'm able to make sure that they stay on schedule. So as a virtual assistant, you should be doing the same thing as well. Now, it's going to be a little bit hard for you to have all these different schedules on your calendar for your clients. So this is why you have tools. You have monitors, right? I have like 3 monitors right now at my desk. And one client will be here, one client will be here, and one client will be here. I can have all these calendars up, plus my calendar, right? To make sure that things are being scheduled that are not urgent. So these things should be planned out. Number 3 is urgent and not important. Now, witness have mentioned earlier today that, she does things for her clients, but also she has people working for her, right? This is where the delegation comes in. I'm a delegating queen. My team will tell you, she will have no problem delegating, okay? When I first became a supervisor at my job, I had a problem delegating. I had a problem delegating because I'm a perfectionist. I like to get things done my way and on time. And as a supervisor, that is not the effective way to be able to do things and then have team members under you as well. So I had to learn over time through role playing with my supervisor, and her helping me delegate some of these things because I was becoming overwhelmed because I had, as a first-time supervisor, I had 6 administrators under me, and they were counting on me to be there for them. So I had to be able to delegate. So delegating is urgent and it's not important, right? So tasks are urgent and you can delegate as much as possible. So as you are building your client base, there are some things that you can hire. You can get an intern virtual assistant, someone who's just starting out as a virtual assistant, someone that you can train and start delegating those things so that you can really give that high quality service to your clients because you can't do it all, right? Not urgent and not important. This is where you start eliminating some things. And I'm really good at that as well. That comes with the delegation process as well. That's neither urgent or important. So consider eliminating or minimizing time spent on these things. I have things on my to-do list that I have never got to, all right, because they weren't important, but I still keep transferring over to the next page as I start checking things off. So I just decided to just cross them out because they weren't important. It wasn't something that I had to do, right? So these are the things that you should be focusing on when you are working with your clients as well. So when you use the Eisenhower matrix, list out your tasks and characterize them into quadrants, right? So that it's easy for you to manage, especially when you have 1, 2, and then you start having 3 and 4 clients. Let me tell you something. When you master that, you are going to be a queen, all right? Or king, because I know we have some men's in here, right? All right. No mercy. So task batching is important as well as a client manager. When you are task batching, it's very important, and it's a process. You have to learn how to do these things because you have to also put in the time on your schedule, like how long it's going to take you to do that task. And should you be doing that every Monday at the same time, every Tuesday, whatever your schedule is for the day, you should be task batching. So as you can see, this result on this presentation slide is that Monday, 7 hours and 35 minutes. So it's already on there, like 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm working on doing calendar management. Batch 2 is I'm doing images or something that takes me 40 minutes. So you're batching those things for your clients depending on your niche as well. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to providing services to multiple clients, you have to be careful with the services that you're providing because you're going to have a platter of all these services on your plate. What is it that you love to do? Because that's going to be more manageable. If you have a plate of all these different desserts that you're offering to your clients, then they're like, I don't know what to pick. And then you're going to be all over the place because they're picking all these little things and different services from you. And it's going to be hard to manage those things because you're doing social media, you're doing admin, you're doing website, you're doing this and you're doing that. Stick to a niche. It's very important. So when you task batch, identify similar tasks, right? Group tasks that share similarities, such as responding to emails, making phone calls, working on specific projects. That is task batching. Dedicate to time blocking. Time blocking is your friend. One of my director of operations, Casey, is really good at this. So as we have client managers that come in, this is where the training comes in. Even though they may know how to do this, but because she does it so good because she manages the client managers and also manage the clients, she's very good at time blocking and allocating those times to certain things. So like if she is working on social media graphics and I'm talking to her, she's like, yeah, I can't focus on that right now. She says, I'm in my zone right now and I can't hear you when you're talking about other things. So I learned that over time, but when she's focused on certain things, that's because she time blocked herself to focus on that only. And it's very important. So prioritizing batches within each batch, prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance, like we talked about in the Eisenhower matrix, right? Also, minimize your interruptions. That I had to learn over time too, because I had notifications for Facebook, notifications for Instagram, and then I had my notifications coming up on my computer, and I found myself always going to my notification every time I heard a ding or a bzzz or whatever. Distractions. You cannot have distractions when you are working on client work. If you are in your zone of genius and you are working and you are task batching and you have time blocked out, then everything else needs to be blocked off, other than, you know, your phone, of course, for emergencies for your children or school calls and things like that. But everything else needs to be blocked out, because again, quality work we want to give our clients. So the last thing is that we want to evaluate and we want to adjust, right? So regularly assess the effectiveness of your task batching strategy, and then also adjust the time allocated to each batch, right? And group them based on the priority and project. So again, going back to prioritizations, like what's urgent, what's important, what things that you can delegate, or what things can you take off your plate and delegate to a team member. So by implementing the task batching, you are streamlining your process. Now, when I say streamline, that means that you are becoming more organized and focused on the task at hand. This is very important because that is one of the things that I had asked my supervisor to put me into a training for, which I got my green belt certification. And I put in a report processing, and it took me 2 years to do this at my job. Report processing system has been broken, which has kept our assistants stressed out because somebody didn't know what their responsibility was, and then they put it on the admin, and then if we did something wrong, it was a whole big thing. So I had to streamline that process. So streamlining your process is very important because 1, it shows that you're organized, 2, you on time, and 3, you are getting your client's quality work. And not only that, you're saving time for yourself for that flexibility and scalability in your business. Now, time blocking goes back to the batching as well, right? The time blocking is time management technique that involves dividing your day in specific blocks of time, dedicated to different tasks or activities and things like that. So for me, I have a spreadsheet that I had started out with when I first started my virtual assistant agency. And what I did was I blocked out from 9 to 5 working my 9 to 5 job. And then like before 9, if I have projects that I worked on, I make sure that I time block that to work on a project for a client. And this is before I even had my client managers. This is when I was doing this alone. And then in the evening time, I had time blocked out for certain projects that I was working on. So I had to time block because I didn't want to be doing work while I was working my 9 to 5. That's conflict of interest, right? But on my lunch hour was where I blocked for in a different color, because that's when I did my consultations. I had my laptop, or I had my iPad, and I did my consultations for my clients on my time, and I blocked that out to do that if I had consultations doing from 12 to 1. So working from home is a beautiful thing. It's wonderful because you're able to make money and then also work on having a schedule that works for you and your family. So when you use time blocking effectively, you start to identify your priorities and then also breaking down the manageable tasks, multitasking. I know a lot of people don't like that word multitasking. Like, you don't multitask. Yes, I use it because I multitask. Okay. At my job, I have so many different things that I work with. I work with a team of 100, right? There's 3 of us admin, and I have to multitask. I'm on the phone. I'm doing calendar management. I'm running down the whole, helping with IT, get them set up with their teams, and I'm doing all these things, right? And I'm able to do that because my mind is trained to do those different things. But at the same time, I also time block because I know that I have to be, as soon as I come in, I have my coffee, I have my day all planned out. that first thing I'm going to tackle is my boss's email to make sure that anything that came in overnight, that I'm tackling that to make sure that he's okay. And if anything changed on his calendar for meetings and things like that, I'm time blocking that time to make sure that I'm focused on the things that is important and is urgent. Because it's very important for him to have his calendar on point and there's no conflicts. I may have settled all the conflicts the night before, but I time block my time in the morning to make sure I look at that calendar and make sure that he don't got no conflicts, right? So you do that with your clients as well, and you do that with your business as well. Time block. Time blocking is very important, as well as task batching, right? So while you're working through those blocks, you are creating an environment that reduces errors, that reduces distraction. Avoid those interruptions because it's very important, especially when you're home and you got dishes to do, you got cooking to do, kids are getting out of school, or you have to run somewhere. Time blocking is very important because when you have it blocked on certain things, there may be some interruptions, there may be an emergency, but when you already have your day set, you are prepared for those things to interrupt, right? So just make sure that you time block is very important. So these are tools that you can use for time management. There are so many time management apps out there. Technology is your friend. Okay. Yes, I do a lot of things I did manually. I still like my paper. I still like my notebook. But these are tools that you can use. Your calendar is your friend. Okay. Your calendar should be your Bible. Time management apps, they're useful. It helps you to organize, set tasks, set priorities, track your progress as well. As business owners, we should be tracking our process, our progress, so that we know what's working and what's not working. How much time I spend on this, how many time I spend on that, because that also comes into play when you start setting up your pricing. Hint, hint. All right, so you have to-do list, which is versatile task management app that allows you to organize tasks, set deadlines, and collaborate. And then you have the focus at will too, which is a productivity app that is used for music to enhance concentration. So if you're someone that can't be in quietness, but you need some music or something to focus on while you're working, I have to be in quiet. I can't have all this other stuff that distracts me, because when my music starts coming on, a song that I like, I'll be jamming in here and I don't get no work done. Another one is an app that is focused on growing a virtual tree during your work sessions as well. If you use the app, the tree dies, adding a playful incentive to avoid distractions. So I had some clients that love this app, right? And then you have to go with calendar. Like I said, you use that as your Bible. Everybody uses a calendar. And then if you are a Microsoft user, you know that you have the Microsoft To-Do, the To-Do task management app that integrates seamlessly with Microsoft 365 if you have that Microsoft and work with Microsoft. Another thing I wanted to add is that as a client manager, you need to be versatile. You need to know Microsoft, and you also need to know Google, right? Or what do you call it? I forgot what they call it now. I don't think it's called Google anymore. But Gmail and stuff like that. So now when we talk about enhancing productivity, we want to set realistic goals, your SMART criteria. So when it comes to your SMART goals, again, be specific, clear, and well-defined. Measurable, we talked about this, right? About your time and about not overcommitting. Quantifiable and trackable. Achievable is realistic and attainable. We can't overcommit. We can't take on stuff and have this big goal that we're going to say, oh, I'm going to get 10 clients. Manage the 1 and 2 first, okay? And master that before you start thinking about having 10 clients. And then the relevant, right? Align yourself with the objective of your business, with the mission, the vision of your business as well. Time is within time Pacific. Set short-term goals and long-term goals as well. So last but not All right. Okay. I got 5 minutes left. I'm going to work through this real quickly. Establishing work-life balance. Prevent burnout. Why is this important? Because it balances work life and your personal and your business, which I talked about that before. Avoid those long, prolonged periods of stress and exhaustion, preserving mental health. Our mental health is very important. Sustain productivity, maintain consistent high quality over the long term. Enhance creativity and problem solving. If you are someone who is solution based, make sure that you're able to solve these problems for your clients. I like to say stay 10 steps ahead of your clients, right? So that you don't come into any problems. Anything that, when you stay 10 steps ahead of your clients, anything that comes in between, you're able to handle that and it's not taking up too much time. Last but not least, improve job satisfaction. Balance work in your personal life leads to higher job satisfaction and the best in class customer service. So the conclusion of this, have a large group that can make it difficult for VAs to manage their time effectively. We talked about that, effective time management strategies, which we talked about prioritization, task batching, time blocking, technology tools, and setting realistic goals and establish work-life balance as essential for enhancing productivity. So the key takeaway here is empowerment comes through continuous improvement. Change and improvement is possible with achievable goals and determination to reach them. Commit to refining your skills and mastering the art of time management, and choose a new technique you learn about in this presentation and make a goal to make it and try it. Thank you, guys. I hope that this was useful and valuable to today and you took away some key notes from this presentation.
Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for that very enlightening session. So we'll just have about 5 minutes. I hope she's still with us, just to get questions from people in case there's anyone who has question for you. So please, we can only just take 2-3 questions. 1, 2, and 3. So we'll just have 3 questions quickly for Teekwa while she's still with us. Okay, so can we have the 3 questions? So while the mic is going, so while she was speaking, she said so many very amazing things. And I took note of a few of the things she said that struck me or stood with me. And she talked about how that remote world allows you access to a global pool of time and that you are enough. So what services can you render? You are enough, basically. And that you are not an employee, you're a business owner. You are not working for them. You are working with them. So it's not I'm working for, it's I'm working with. And it's really, I think it's a mindset thing. Do we have the mic behind you? All right, so thank you. Yes, please, you have the floor. Question. Please, can we have a mic for us? Thank you. Okay, yes, and then she spoke about the challenges of being a virtual assistant. Do we remember the challenges? Can we say 3 of them or 2 of them? Procrastination, yes. Overcommitting. Lack of, please, a round of applause for yourself. Sorry. Questions now. Yes, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the talk. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much for the talk. I want to ask. Okay. Is it better now? Okay. Okay. So I wanted to ask, yeah, as a new virtual assistant, you have demanding clients. For example, now you work, let me say they set an hours of 20 hours a week, and that client is trying to like infringe on your personal time, and you're a new person in the field and you just want to satisfy them. And they just try to keep encroaching on your personal time. Weekends, they want you to work. How do we set that boundaries, and they should understand that, okay, please, my personal time is my personal time, and still be nice enough for them to keep your job, because you're trying to save your job and you're still trying to have your personal time. It's very difficult. I want to know how we can, manage that. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take the three questions together so that you can answer them together. We will take the three questions together so that you can answer them together. Okay, so this is the second question.
Okay, so my question is similar to what she asked.
Sorry, I just want to be sure. Please, can you hear us? Please, let's take the three questions together so you'd answer the three together.
Question is similar to what she asked because I have a client that likes to, he tells me, oh, I work every day, Monday to Sundays. And I'm like, okay, that is your time. This is the time I work. And I also have a 9 to 5. Like, how can you balance it with a demanding client that wants to, he texts me like maybe like 11 p.m. and say, why are you not available? And I'm like, no, I'm not your employer. I am an independent contractor. So how do you get to balance it and so you don't shut the person out and say, oh, I'm not working with you again, that kind of thing? Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Then the last question.
Thank you very much. A great session, and it actually speaks to anybody that works, basically. And it speaks to me too because at some point I engaged a virtual assistant.
Sorry, Teekwa, I think you are muted. Could you please unmute from your hand?
Okay, can I continue? Thank you very much. I engaged a virtual assistant at some point, and the problem is not her. The problem was me. Because I mentioned something about delegation at some point, and that was the issue I had. I just felt like there was nobody that could do it like I would do, and I'm into content. I'm a journalist, so I needed her to at least create content for social media from what I've produced. And anytime she just writes something, I say, no, this is not me. It was difficult, and yeah, we needed to part ways. But I got something from what she said about delegation, and I probably will have to work on that because I cannot keep myself. But there's one particular thing that I want to ask that, and she mentioned some very important traits a virtual assistant should have. And it's sounding like people on the autistic spectrum. Yes, it's the question. People on the autistic spectrum left the chat group because they can't concentrate on one thing at a time. They are here and there, and if they are only able to concentrate when they can concentrate. I want to ask if there is a career for them in virtual assistants, because I don't know how they want to do it. They can't manage time. They can't focus when you're asking them to focus. They can only focus when they can focus. So I want to ask that if there is a place for them.
All right, Teekwa, you have the floor. I don't know if you can hear us.
I'm going to talk about the first question as a virtual assistant who has a demanding client. As counseling, using feeding the person's time, how to use set boundaries. Okay, so if you have a client and you already did not set those boundaries, it's going to be really hard and it's going to take some time for you to start setting those boundaries. Not just cannot start setting them now, but you can also, if you know that you are good at what you do, good at what you do, and you've been working with this client for time, then you can have a conversation with your client and let them know your boundaries, like what it is that, what challenges you're having, right? How this is going to happen. Because remember, you're not working for them. You have to scenarios and different things and make it into personalize it, right? If we do this all the time with our clients, we have friends and we have clients that we love. Ones that we need to set those boundaries, you need to let them know. Communication is key. They have to let them know. You have to say that, I can't do it at this time. This is the time allotted that you have, and this is the time that I'm giving you. So this time, and say for example you work until 2 hours per day, right? So during those 2 hours per day, you're doing things. This is where the time blocking and time blocking comes in. Okay. I hope that answers your question. How can I balance my personal life as a VA right away? When you first start as a VA, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to manage that because you're just getting started. But to give you some tips when you first get started, set your boundaries in the beginning. Have your welcome guide. Put in your welcome guide what the expectations is of them and what the expectation of yourself. Let them know what your time frame is when you work so it doesn't impede on your personal time, right? Have set up time where communication is like, just don't respond to emails. If you know that your time is this time, and they send you an email and you're sleeping or you're having dinner with your family, don't respond because they will get the picture. Because if once you respond, you let them in the door. So be strict on your time. Be strict on the things that you do. Set your boundaries in the beginning. When you set them in the beginning, you already set that expectation. I had an issue with delegation of VA and we ended up parting ways. So is there a career for people for artistic spectrum? Yes, it is. So I had actually someone over and she was artistic as well. And she let me know up front. It was some things that she was afraid in, but she was like, I just want to let you know that this is why I'm doing so. And I understood that. So I worked with her. So my thing is that you don't want to let people know what you're going through or what's going on. But if you're working with clients, just be upfront and honest and say, hey, this is how I work. And again, setting those boundaries. What works, what doesn't work. Can you take emails or is it on a Slack channel, whatever. Set your boundaries so that it's manageable for yourself, right? Let them know in the beginning. Again, it's communication, and what I learned for the years of working in a virtual assistant agency is that I have to let my know and get them the boundaries in the beginning or in the kickoff forum. They welcome that. And then as along if they start testing those boundaries, I quickly get on it and say, per the welcome guide in here, such and such, such and such. You keep repeating that. I do that at work too. I set my boundaries. And I will send I have a screenshot of all that stuff, and I'm like, if I was said, blah, 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 blah. You have to set your boundaries, and communication is key. You can't be afraid to speak up. You can't be afraid to say because then they will work over you, and your boundaries will be out the window because you don't want to lose that client. But they will respect you more when you set those boundaries in the beginning. I hope that can answer everybody's questions. You're welcome. All right, everybody.
The founder and owner of Power Pro Assistant. A round of applause for her once again, please. All right, so right about now.